These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mark Z via PDK. Quote, the United Nations Development Program has issued a 49-page report on investment opportunities in line with Iraq's sustainable goals, unquote. Mark Z says these are things to develop a very robust Iraq economy. All right, Nader from the Mideast says somebody says I said the exchange rate is going to change on the budget. I never said that. I never said the budget has an exchange rate. Never said. Somebody else, though, been telling you that, not me. I never said it. I will never say it because I don't know if the exchange rate is in the budget or not. I don't know. I cannot tell you, no, it is not. I cannot say, yes, it is. I never said in the budget there's a rate change. I don't believe in that in the first place. All right, Samson has an article quote, including transfers and attracting investors. The Supreme Judiciary determines the advantages of removing Iraq from the gray list. Quote, the Supreme Judicial Council identified the advantages of removing Iraq from the list of high-risk countries. Claire has an article, quote, Iraq bids farewell to the list of high-risk countries. Quote, observers and specialists in political affairs express their optimism about Iraq's exit from the list of high-risk countries. That was officially announced by the International Task Force, the FATF, last week, noting that the international declaration represents an important step in the correct path that the Sudanese government is taking in achieving reforms, financial and economic, along with political stability. Mark Z via PDK says, I have a number of historic bond context appointments starting late in the afternoon. This is from the 10th yesterday through Wednesday morning. They expect a 1% payment. There are a lot of expectations. Question. If bond people get their 1% as rumored, how would you see it rolling out for us briefly, hypothetically? Mark Z says, if they get their 1%, this means things are well underway. We should have a better idea on what to expect for the currency side. The news throughout the weekend remains positive. We're playing the wait-and-see game to see if those bond dollars start to move. Frank 26, Firefly Sudanese making another speech. He said something very interesting. My cousin caught it. Something very interesting before he said the dinar will be stronger than the dollar. Frank said, that's right. Remember, how many times have they been saying that over and over? Firefly says, however, in today's talk, he said to us Iraqi citizens, the dinar is stronger than the dollar. All right, Jeff says the budget is approved with dinar valued at today's central bank value, 1310. That's not a rate change. What brings the rate change in is for the current budget approval to be overturned. That's what you're looking for. The court's ruling to overturn the approval, which welcomes a rate change. All right, Mark Z via PDK question, did you hear from your bond contacts? Mark Z says, I do have a couple more who were told to expect theirs tomorrow. They were told that today that those appointments for tomorrow are still set. The expectations are that they will complete this time. I find this very encouraging. If we see that, I can believe we can then be excited. All bets are off on timing. Question, how long after the bonds go will we go? Mark Z says, most of my sources believe we will go within 3 days. That is why I watched the historic bonds and am hopeful this time. Lastly, I have an article quote from Militiaman, Iraq bids farewell to the list of high-risk countries. We already heard talk about them going from a black list to a gray list. Quote, Iraq's exit from the list of high-risk countries that was officially announced by the International Task Force last week. This step will also make Iraq a destination and a source of interest for major international development and investment companies. Iraq is on the runway and ready to go and take off.